Karen Spinelli doing joint mobilizations, the Maitland approach with Jaycee on her spinal area. When we think about she's a small dog, I'll be just using 2 fingers on each side of the spine. Ideally, I would have her in an upright position or even laying over like a peanut or infinity ball, so I could have one hand under to feel the response as I worked down. For her right now, it's much more comfortable working and laying, and so I want to work fear-free. I want to do what's best for her, and so we're going to work in a laying position right now. If I think about the range of motion of how far I could push down on each side of the vertebrae until I hit resistance, pain control is going to be levels 1 and 2. So it's going to be just in that first half of range of motion. Level 1, just a very short, quick oscillation. Level 2, going a little bit further, a little bit longer, but slower. Now, if I wanted to try to get more range of motion out of that, I would find where my resistance was. Level 3, I would work back to the middle in those longer, slower amplitude movements. And level 4, I would go all the way down to resistance, and I would bounce there, quick little oscillations right down there. Now for Jaycee, I'm just going to stay in level 1 and 2, just very small for pain control. And for her, I would come up to this occiput area, if you can see my hands right here, and I'm going to feel for that little indention that's there, and I'm just going to do a little bit of an occiput release, and I'm just gently pulling for a few seconds, suboccipital release. Okay. Now, C1 is her atlas, and I can feel for the wings of the atlas right under the ears, moving down to C2, the axis. And what I'm going to be doing, if you can see my fingers here, I would do just very short, quick oscillations. And I would only work for about 30 seconds and reassess. Work down 1. Again, quick oscillations and reassess. If she was ever uncomfortable, I would leave that space. I would work above and below. Now, just to give you an idea of where we'd be working, to show the landmarks, I can come down when I feel the higher spinal process. That is where it changes from C7 to T1. We're going to feel down to the end of the rib cage. That's going to bring me to, if I work my way back up, about T11, and then I can work my way down to count to T13. And then counting down the 7 lumbar and the 3 sacral and the coccygeal areas. Oh, we got a little stretch there. One of the things that is important to keep in mind is that after C7, along with that downward motion of dorsal to ventral, so top to bottom, again, she's laying, so it's a little bit different right now, but top of her body towards bottom of her body. After C7, not only are we going down dorsal to ventral, but we would start to put a little bit of a cranial or towards the front movement in there, just very slightly, okay? When we get down to T11, that's the one that's perpendicular to the floor, the anticlonal vertebrae, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. When we get past that, when we're at around T13, we want to give a very slight dorsal to ventral, so her top to her bottom, but also a little caudal, so a little bit towards the back when we're doing that movement. And that's because when you're in front and behind of that perpendicular one, you need that little angle to keep things going in the correct plane of movement. Thank you very much.